Cypress, Houston.
A Synergy Broadcasting Company.
Talk that inspires change. Music that revives memories. The Powerful 1520.
Welcome to Natural Nation Network, the show that peels back the layers of confusion on health issues and gives you access to accurate information that can help you get off of medications, reach optimal health, and live your best life. Ready to help someone you care about change their life? Contact them right now. The conversation's about to get started. Here's your host, Oscar Hines.
Well, good morning, Houston. This is Oscar Hines, and welcome to the Natural Nation Network. For those of you who are out there, we want to encourage you to be careful, be safe. It is a rainy day out there. We know that commuting this morning was a little bit tough, but I am so excited to be here because we are live at the campus of Texas Southern University. We are here talking to our students about the different ways that they can get into broadcast, communications, journalism, and so on. And so it's exciting. We'll have a few interviews that we'll cover a little bit later in the program. But right now we have the privilege and pleasure of visiting with one of our absolute favorite people, someone who has spanned several careers. So when we're talking about education, we certainly are talking to one of the right people who has had more than one career in two very distinct fields. Dr. Regina Bailey is with us this morning. Good morning, Dr. Bailey. How are you?
Good morning, Oscar. I'm doing great. How are you?
Well, I wish I could be there face to face to see your smiling face, but we'll be able to work this out just fine. We're here live at Texas Southern University. We have the opportunity to visit with some students and professors here, but I know with some of our conversations that we've had before with you, Dr. Bailey, you have worked with a number of different patients, and many of whom have had challenges, and we want to visit with you about the different challenges that you face. But this morning on the program, and maybe you can identify your company and what you do before we delve into our topic. I always like for new listeners to know who Dr. Regina Bailey is.
Well, currently my full-time job is an emergency medicine doctor for First Choice Emergency Room. It's a freestanding ER. And then on the side, I'm an entrepreneur. I owned a company called Fit and Fine in No Time, where I help people lose weight, get more healthy, help them with diet and exercise, and also have my own line of meal replacements, protein shakes, and nutritional supplements as well to help them with their journey.
Outstanding. Fit and Fine in No Time. And many of you listening right now, you're going to want to go on Facebook, go on the website and look up Fit and Fine in No Time and look up Dr. Regina Bailey. She is also beautifully sculpted, and your transformation, Doc, was so remarkable. I saw your previous pictures after you had your daughter,
yes.
And now you are chiseled. You know, you're what we call twisted steel and sex appeal now, right?
Thank you so much. It was a lot of hard work, but it was worth it.
Yes. Well, beauty and braids, you know, that's a wonderful combination. So Doc, in kind of just addressing one of the challenges that we have, you know, people right now. I know you work in a emergency room center, and we've seen centers, different care centers popping up all across the city of Houston and really across the country. First of all, what's with these emergency care centers that have popped up everywhere? How did all of that sort of start coming about?
It came about because as the population's been growing and people have been getting sicker, emergency rooms have been getting overwhelmed and overcrowded with longer wait times. So to address that, a lot of companies have come up with freestanding emergency rooms, especially in Texas. They're very popular to help serve the communities that don't have emergency rooms or hospitals close by. They put these freestanding emergency rooms that are full service emergency rooms, but they're not physically attached to a hospital. So you pretty much can do everything we can do, same things you can do in a regular hospital emergency room, but they're not physically attached to the hospital. And if a person is sick enough that needs to actually go to the hospital, we can get them admitted to the hospital and get them transported by ambulance after we stabilize them.
Yes, yes. So you have essentially a triage center, and you can get them stabilized, get them in a position where it's safe to transport them if that's needed.
Yes, and it also helps. Our freestanding emergency rooms usually have a lot shorter wait times than traditional emergency rooms, so it helps if people are pretty sick. We can get to see them pretty quickly. Usually, no wait at all.
Wow, wow. So Doc, the big question then is, how do we differentiate? I mean, how do we know when someone should go to immediately to like a Bentob versus one of the local med care centers?
That's a very good question. It depends on how sick you are. Usually, traditionally, the emergency room is just for people with serious life-threatening conditions, like you're going to lose your life or limb within the next 24 hours. So things you want to go to the emergency room for are, if you have signs of a heart attack, if you're having chest pain, something like that, that's something to go to the emergency room for. Signs of a stroke, if you have sudden weakness in one of your arms or legs, if you have trouble talking, if you pass out or someone in your family passes out, becomes unconscious, or has seizures, there's another reason to go to the emergency room. Broken bones, if you were in a serious car accident, if you have some kind of sports-related injury and you have an obvious broken bone, that's another reason to go to the emergency room.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So these are more acute situations. Now, so a lot of times, and I've never forgotten my own, and I won't do this again. This was when I had another house, and I had some leaves accumulate on the roof. And I climbed up there, swept them off, and as I was getting off of the ladder, I slipped.
Oh, wow.
And I never forgot, like, that 1.5 seconds between my falling off that roof and hitting the ground. When I hit the ground, I sat there for a moment. I kept thinking to myself, okay, is something broken? Is something damaged? And I didn't feel any pain, and I thought, well, maybe I'm in shock. But what saved me was the fact that all the leaves I just swept off sort of cushioned
your
my
fall. That helps. But, yes, that is a lot of people fall off roofs and ladders and things like that. Those are, again, things to go to the emergency room for if you have a serious injury after those type of big falls.
Yes. And so when we start thinking about the situation and someone's assessing it, I would imagine that common sense might dictate that what we do if there is a emergency care center, like literally around the corner, you get someone there pretty fast. You don't wait.
Yeah, you can get them pretty fast. But if they are seriously injured, the best thing to do is call 911. Because ambulances have medications on board and all kinds of equipment that can help stabilize the patient in the time that, if you're actually driving them, that something could be happening. So if someone's having, again, a stroke, something very serious, they can't talk. If someone's in labor, you're about to deliver a baby. If you're having difficulty breathing, if a person's completely unconscious, those are all things to actually call 911 for and have an ambulance pick you up so that the paramedics can stabilize the patient, get medicine on board, get equipment on board, and try to get them stabilized and get them to the emergency room quicker than you would be able to do if you were driving them yourself.
Yes, yes. And speaking of which, on the stabilization, if somebody, let's say, has a fall like that, one of the things we see doctors, or let's say the EMSs do all the time, is they immediately put a neck brace on them.
Exactly.
Tell us, what is the purpose of that?
The neck brace is sometimes if people have serious falls, they can have a serious injury to their neck, a fracture in their neck. If it's not stabilized immediately, you can have permanent paralysis. So that's why the EMS folks, when they get on the scene, they'll put a person that's fallen or in a serious car accident, they'll put them in a neck brace immediately and then put them on a flat, long board to help stabilize their spine to help prevent any any worsening of the injury that's already occurred.
I see. Well, that's important, and someone may not realize that. I remember I was watching an event where a cheerleader was, they were doing one of those cheers. She fell off the top of, it might have been a 10-foot fall, and then someone swept her up and grabbed her and ran off the floor with her, but they were saying that was potentially dangerous in case she had a spinal injury.
Exactly.
It caused more damage.
It definitely could have. It definitely could have. If someone already has a spinal injury and you just lift them up and their neck is kind of moving all around, it can worsen the injury and can cause even more damage. That's why it's important to let them stay there on the ground and stabilize them until somebody can get them immobilized so that the neck or the spine isn't moved any further.
Yes, and of course we've seen this often with rendering aid. Let's say somebody is having a heart attack, or so CPR. If someone doesn't know all the basics, what can you help us? Someone may not know CPR per se, but what should they be thinking about if someone can't breathe, their heart is stopped? What should they do while 911 is on the way?
Well, again, first thing is to call 911, and then from that point is to start doing chest compressions. The most important part, if somebody isn't having a heartbeat and heart is stopped, is to do chest compressions. Put your hands over their heart and start pumping as fast as you can to help them regain their pulse. Yes,
and I remember that things have changed a little bit. They used to require. Not that it's changed, I guess, but, you would normally see them push or breathe into the mouth of the person and then the chest compressions.
Yes.
Now I'm hearing the chest compressions and what you were just saying is really the most important thing.
Exactly. Now they've done quite a few studies that say the most important thing is to get the heart pumping first. So the chest compressions take priority over any giving breaths to the person. So definitely the chest compressions are a start. And there are lots of videos online you could check on YouTube to get very basics on how to do chest compressions if you hadn't had a chance to get a CPR course on board.
Yes. And in the case of major cuts, of course, tourniquets, things like that are important. Any other thoughts around just immediate rendering emergency aid for common situations?
If someone is bleeding severely and you're waiting for 911 to come, the best thing is to put some kind of cloth over the wound and hold pressure. Don't keep taking the cloth on and off, trying to peek to see if it's still bleeding. Just continue to hold pressure, because when you hold pressure, that helps a clot form and helps prevent even further bleeding. That's another thing that people will commonly do. They'll put pressure, but they'll take it off and look. But it's important to just put pressure down with a cloth and hold the pressure down until EMS can get there.
Wow. Well, it's clear that these simple suggestions and hints, folks, that Dr. Bailey is giving here could save a life. And, of course, I know, Dr. Bailey, you are an advocate of remaining calm in these moments of fear and stress, correct?
Yeah, definitely, especially if the person is conscious and is ill. The best thing is to keep calm so you don't get them even more nervous about what's going on now. And also, if you're trying to communicate with EMS dispatchers over the phone, you need to be able to talk calmly and clearly so they know exactly where to go and what's going on. And they can also give you advice over the phone of what to do with the particular patient in order to help them until EMS can get there, too. They can give you a lot of good advice over the phone. So it's important to be calm, as calm as you can, so that you can help the person as much as possible.
Yes, definitely. And that's very, very important. So we'll certainly want to make sure that individuals heed that. We're talking with Dr. Regina Bailey here on KYND Radio. Fit and Fine in No Time is Dr. Bailey's amazing, I want to call it entire brand, because it's more than just nutritional supplements, it's recommendations, it's suggestions. It's really the entire means by which you can start transforming your body. So, Dr. Bailey, we're going to take a break here. We'll come back, rejoin this conversation, and let's talk a little bit about how individuals can get back in shape. You're listening to KYND Radio. Be careful out there, Houston. We'll be back in just a moment.
Tell a friend to tune in to KYND, the kind of talk that inspires change.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, my name is Les Brown, and I want to invite you to join me on KYND Monday from 9 o'clock until 10. It's radio that is designed to help you to live your dreams rather than your fears. A lot of people are talking about what's going on in the White House. I say focus on what's going on in your house. We're going to teach you how to begin to overcome your fears, how to identify the goals that you want to achieve and make them happen, and how to begin to get negative, toxic people out of your life. You have something special. You have greatness within you. Listen to me Monday from 9 o'clock until 10 on KYND. You have something special. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Rushion McDonald, wow. That means something today, but when I started in Fifth Ward, Texas, with my brothers, two brothers, I have 6 sisters, I didn't know what I wanted to be. So when I look at what I've accomplished today, you can do it. You can be that person. You can be Rushion. You can be Magic Johnson. You can be anybody you want to be mentally. I've worked with some of the best celebrities in this country. Kevin Hart, Jamie Foxx, Monique, Tiente Tamara Mowry, Gabrielle Union. So I've surrounded myself with a degree of success that stuns most people. But I'm not satisfied. I'm not satisfied when I got 2 Emmys. So my future now is to be able to share what I know. You know, they said, make America greater. How about making you greater? Call me. Money Making Conversations. 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. KYND 1520 a.m. I'll be live in studio. The kind of talk that inspires change.
Hey guys, welcome to KYND TV. My name's Lindsay Calzada, and I'm about to show you something crazy. No, not that crazy. KYND Radio is bringing you something that's so crazy, it's inspirational, it's educational, it's generational. No, not that kind of generation, our generation, your generation. KYND Radio is coming to YouTube. Now it's radio, it's TV, and it's your source of information. If you like what you saw, go ahead and click that subscribe button.
We are speaking with Dr. Regina Belli in studio today with us. And Doc, we were just talking about some pretty serious circumstances under which one may find themselves in the emergency room. And I remember one time talking to a medical professional, and they posed it this way, and it put it in perspective for me. They said, you know, when someone's being rushed into the emergency room, it is at that moment the worst day of their life. But for you, you are there as a professional to assess the situation. So take us through the mindset of what a doctor is thinking when a patient gets rushed in.
Well, the first thing is to do an overall assessment and see what's going on. If the EMS folks bring them in, we get a brief overview from the EMS and the paramedics about why the patient called EMS, what happened, if they gave them any medications, if they had to do any procedures on the particular patient. So we get a brief rundown of what's going on. If the family brings them in, we get information from the family about what's going on if the patient can't talk for themselves. If not, we talk to the patient themselves and ask why they're coming to the emergency room and do a quick assessment head to toe to see what's the immediate emergent condition that they need to take care of.
Yes. Well, that's important. Now, this question I posed before, but it's sort of a great segue into our next part of this conversation, and that is, so how many times would you say that you would have a situation where it's mostly lifestyle change or lifestyle issues that causes someone to end up in the emergency room? In other words, just bad decisions on nutrition and things like that versus an accident.
Quite a few of the emergencies I see coming to the emergency room could have been prevented, especially things like heart attacks and stroke. If it's possible if the person had a better diet, had been exercising, it could have prevented their arteries and blood system from getting clogged up and getting atherosclerosis in it, all things that cause strokes and heart attacks. So yes, if they had a better diet or lifestyle, had been exercising more, it's possible those things, serious illnesses, could have been prevented and prevented them from actually having to be in the hospital.
Yes. So that's a really important point to make here, because we could really avoid some of the tragic circumstances simply by making better decisions. So with that in mind, talk to us about Fit and Fine in No Time and what that represents and how individuals can get involved.
Well, Fit and Fine in No Time is something I came up with after I lost quite a bit of weight myself. I was living on an unhealthy lifestyle. I was eating fast food every day, drinking a lot of sodas, gained quite a bit of weight very quickly, and just wasn't feeling well. I had trouble keeping up with my toddler. I was tired all the time and cranky, and my mom passed away around the same time with complications from diabetes and high blood pressure, and kind of was a wake-up call for me that I needed to get in better shape and lose weight in order to be around to take care of my daughter and also to live a healthier lifestyle for myself. So I hired a personal trainer, hired a nutritionist, started to eat differently, exercise more often, lost about 30 pounds, and after that and during the whole process felt much better. The fatigue is not there anymore, the crankiness, just in general, just feel healthier and happier, and also can keep up with my daughter a little better now as well.
Yes, and she's gorgeous. That little young lady has a lot of energy. So now, what are the steps, though? I mean, it sounds like, because when we hear your resume, you're a pretty disciplined person. You just seem to decide what you want to do and then go for it. But for the rest of those mortal men and women out there, what do they do? How do they get started?
You can start off with baby steps. You can start off with, if you're just haven't exercised in years, you're just starting out from scratch. You can just start off with walking every day. Take a couple minutes. Today's not the greatest day to go walking outside, but when it's a good day, you can go outside for a nice walk. You can take your kids out for a walk to the park. Those are things they'll enjoy and you'll enjoy as well. If you're want to do a little more than that, you can join a gym. Quite a few gyms will offer different specials. You can go in there. Some gyms will offer you free personal training when you join the gym, just to get a sample of what's out there. If you can afford it, it's great to have a trainer. They can stay on top of you, which was great for me. I needed somebody that would keep me accountable, and then would always, stay on top of me about exercising and diet and that sort of thing. So there are different range of things you can do to get started. I personally have an online coaching program where I help people lose weight that might not be in the Houston area, and I guide them through the internet and help them devise a diet and exercise program that works for them individually, because not everything works for everybody.
So with your program, you really have the options. Tell us a little bit about some of the options and some of the things that someone can exercise inside of that program.
Well, first I kind of do a big interview with them, give them a questionnaire to fill out, and do an interview with them to figure out, what are your dislikes and what are your likes and dislikes about exercising? What are their particular boundaries to exercising? For some people, it might be, I have kids and I just can't, I don't have the time to exercise. So there are things you can do where you can exercise with your kids. There are some gyms that have kids clubs, and you can bring your kids to the gym and they can get to exercise and play while you're in the gym exercising as well and staying healthy. So it works for everybody. So I do an assessment of the person and figure out, what's stopping them from being healthier and how we can get them to their goals, figure out what they like, don't like, so we can find out what works for them and how we can help them stay on top of things and continue with their progress.
Yes. Well, that makes a lot of sense. And then in terms of diet and supplementation, are you able to help in that regard to sort of really give them some clear direction on how to pursue that?
Yes, I start with their weight that they're at now, if they have any allergies, what types of food they like and don't like, and what kinds of things they're drinking and eating, and then go through that and try to figure out how we can get them to eliminate the things that aren't as healthy and introduce more foods that are healthier in there that they would enjoy the taste of and enjoy eating. So it's again doing an individual assessment of what works for them so you can get them on a diet that they'll stick with and enjoy.
Yes. Well, we could understand some of the obvious things, like getting off of the sodas you mentioned a little while ago, all the sugary soft drinks and cake and ice cream and those things. What's your opinion or what's your thought? Because now there's a great deal of press around organic foods and things that are GMO and so on. What's your thoughts about those things?
They are good if you can afford them. They are good to go for the organic, but if you can't, it's still good to have a regular broccoli or regular string beans, and regular apples as well. So don't focus on solely just eating the organic. Just go for the fruits and veggies that you can afford to eat.
Yes. Well, that's good advice. I mean, some people say, well, I can't afford organic broccoli, so let me just have this cheeseburger.
Exactly.
Yeah, but some healthy food is better than no healthy food.
Exactly. And it's not about totally getting rid of the fast food too. I have a cheat meal once a week or so. Yeah, it's okay to eat once a week or so. Eat something that's not healthy but you enjoy. It's okay to once in a while have some ice cream. I still have to enjoy life, but you have to do it in moderation.
Right, exactly. And if somebody is currently on medication and they have to make a decision, they want to get off of meds, what's your thoughts around that? How do they transition?
The first step would be to go to their doctor and let them know that they're trying to start dieting and exercising more so they can get off the medication, so they can work in conjunction with their doctor and their trainer. And then they just, start with the diet and exercise and visiting their doctor and, seeing if the progress is working. And if slowly, if the, for example, if they're having blood pressure problems or their blood sugar, having blood sugar problems, if that's improving with a new diet and exercise, they can start weaning down the medicine, maybe lower the dosage. And if they're eventually successful, sometimes people can get off the medicines completely.
Yes, but one of the important things that you mentioned there is you want to do it with medical supervision or oversight, because if someone, let's say, suddenly stopped taking their cholesterol or blood pressure medication, what are some of the potential ramifications there?
You could worsen your condition and get sick and end up in the emergency room with me having to take care of you. So it is important to not just stop cold turkey. You need to talk with your doctor first before you do that, to make sure it's safe for you to do that.
Yes. So those transitions are very, very important. And I know you have some great supplements that you work with Fit and Fine in No Time that can help individuals to start sort of gradually transitioning, but doing some things, protein shakes, things of that nature. So we have just a minute or two left. Tell us about that.
Well, I have a fat burner. It's called the Fit and Fine No Time Super Fat Burner. What I like about it is it doesn't have any stimulants in it. A lot of fat burners will have a lot of caffeine or other stimulants in them that will make you feel jittery and kind of make your heart race, and those aren't things that I personally like to take. So I've created one that doesn't have that in it. It's all natural, has vitamins, all vitamins and important nutrients that you need. But it helps speed up your metabolism, and it also helps with your appetite as well. In addition to that, I have protein shakes. Just for now, it's chocolate. I'm going to expand a little later with other flavors, but they're whey protein chocolate shakes that you can take with you on the go. They're individually packaged already, so you don't have to worry about measuring or scooping them out. You just add your water or whatever other things you like to add to your shakes. And it can be a meal for you if you're on the go and you're busy and you don't have a chance to get a full meal, and it's a good way to get a meal in.
Outstanding. That's an excellent way for folks to get back on track and get healthy. We're speaking with Dr. Regina Bailey, Fit and Fine in No Time. Dr. Bailey, can you give your contact information? How do folks get these products? How do they connect with you to counsel with you?
Sure. Well, the website for Fit and Fine is www.fitandfine.time, FITAND, FITANDFINEFINEINTIME.com. I also have a website, DrReginaMDJD.com. And then I'm also on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, also DrReginaMDJD. So it's pretty easy to find me.
Yes, Dr. Regina JD MD.
MDJD.
Right. And I'm sorry, one more time.
Dr. Regina MDJD.
Yes, Dr. Regina MDJD.
Yes.
So, folks, you want to reach out to Dr. Bailey. You want to connect with her. Go ahead and be sure to reach out. Get these products. Get started. You're dealing with a professional that has the ability to walk you through the steps. And the beauty about Dr. Bailey, if you need to, I imagine, you can read all their medical workups if you need to, right, Doc?
Yes, exactly. I can help you out.
Outstanding, outstanding. Thank you so much for being here, braving the weather to come out and visit with us. We really appreciate it. And the beauty here is we'll have the privilege of getting with Dr. Bailey again next week. Is that right, Dr. Bailey?
Yes, I'll be back next week. Yes.
Awesome, awesome. So this is a doubleheader, so I'm excited. We'll be back in studio with another conversation to help you live your best life. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we're live here at Texas Southern University, and we'll be visiting with a couple of the local faculty and speakers here at the event. Thank you so much, Dr. Bailey.
Thank you.
From spring to Sugarland, on the air everywhere. Everywhere. The powerful 1520.
Hi, this is Rashawn McDonald. Small entrepreneurs, please listen up. I'm bringing money-making conversations to KYND 1520 AM, starting May 1st. Short-term goals, long-term goals, planning, financial advice, small businessmen, small business ladies, listen up. Come listen to me. I got some advice that's going to change your life.
The all-new Phil and Derek's Restaurant and Jazz Bar, 1701 Webster. The perfect place to kick back, relax, enjoy some great music and delicious food. We have a lunch buffet, dinner buffet, and a buffet on Saturday and Sunday. Plus, some amazing menu items to choose from. Live entertainment 7 nights a week. Phil and Derek's, 1701 Webster, corner of Webster and Jackson. Open daily, 11 a.m., Sundays, 10:30 a.m. Call 281-501-3261 for more information.
Dear John, I'm leaving. Uncontrolled high blood pressure is serious, and I can quit whenever I want. Why can't we get back to when you checked on me? I don't want to leave, but remember, when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range today. Find out how at heart.org/blood pressure. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Did you know that Shirley Ann's Black Collectibles and Flowers has one of the largest displays of black statues in the country? They're located in the heart of Acres Home. Shirley Ann's has a special treasure to add to your collection, and it's the perfect place to find the ideal gift for someone you love. They also take care of all of your floral needs. Shirley Ann's Black Collectibles, 6130 Wheatley Street. Call 713-692-1100. That's 713-692-1100. Shirley Ann's Black Collectibles.
You're listening to KYND radio station, KYND, inspiring the kind of change to help you live your best life.
And we are back. You're listening to the Natural Nation Network here on KYND Radio. And we are here live at the campus of Texas Southern University today, and it's an awesome, awesome event. We have a bunch of eager minds that are taking in some of the broadcast geniuses here in Houston. We have a tremendous talent, a pool bank right here locally. But I'm privileged to have here live with me Dr. Duncan, who I've met, and he has been a major contributor. So, Dr. Duncan, give us an overview of what we're experiencing here and your involvement.
Well, I'm the internship coordinator for the School of Communication. As you know, this is the Communications Week, the Intercultural Communication Conference. Outstanding individuals coming through all walks of life, giving back to not just the School of Communication, but Texas Southern University as a whole. So my role is to help out in the process of meeting the firms, internship opportunities. We have companies coming through, and such as yourself, reaching back and giving back to our students and giving them that opportunity to learn, to grow, and to develop their skills. And so this has been great, just seeing a few of the individuals so far coming out, the panelists, the students are taking it all in, they're learning, asking those important questions. And so I just really believe that this is a great opportunity, not just for the School of Communication, but for Texas Southern as a whole.
Yes. Now, I remember meeting you some time ago, and I was so impressed by your personal story because broadcasting is something that sort of runs in your DNA a little bit. Is that right?
Well, a little something. I'm known as the clap man when it comes to track and field. I've been announcing at the TSU Relays for about almost 20 years now, going strong. But I'm also with Rice and the University of Houston, the Ivy League. So doors have really been opening up. And so that's what I try to tell my students, to live their passion. So my hobby is picking up. And it's just been a great opportunity, and I try to invite them out to some of the track meets, things of that nature, but they get a different perspective when it comes to public address announcing.
Outstanding, and that's great. So these days, you've got a lot of young people, and, you know, guys with gray hairs like you and me, you know, we sometimes say, well, gosh, you know, they communicate in 40 characters or less, and what's been your experience with our young people in the way of gravitating towards this subject of communication?
Well, that's the key. I tell them that educators, they take something that's simple and make it complicated, whereas communicators take something complicated and make it simple. And so I do understand that we're kind of we're not native to the social media aspect, if you will. Actually, our generation, if you will, if I can use that with the gray hairs, and even though I'm lacking on top, but I'm learning from them when it comes to that aspect, social media, but I want them to be effective in their communication. So how they articulate, their writing skills, and their listening is very important, because I find myself, I'm challenged because of social media when they have to unplug and come to the classroom and listen. Are they effective listening? Are they actually processing the information that they're receiving? And so that's where I try to work on our students. They're great when it comes to social media, like you said, the 40 characters or less, but we want to make sure that they're effective in their communication and have a good repertoire when they leave the School of Communication.
So let me ask you this, because, you know, one of the things that is very clear is that things have been evolving. There's been an evolution that's taking place.
Yes.
We, in the old school, so to speak, remember when there were 3 networks and maybe a PBS, right? And today you have bloggers and vloggers and all kinds of different. I mean, we just saw a story, tragic as it might be, with this Steve. It's gone viral, and he is now more recognizable than any other figure in the United States because of that. So talk to us about, in your opinion, this evolution of media.
And that's the process, I think. Change, of course, is inevitable. So we're able to adapt in the School of Communication. We have some dynamic instructors, professors, who are skilled at what they do and are able to adapt to technology, the changes, because it's happening so fast. And so what we have to do is to be able to adapt as well. And so even though we want to make sure that we have the proper equipment for our students, we also understand that we can actually learn from our students as well, because many of them come in with the skills that we need. Yes.
So based on that change and based on how you see that evolution that occurring, it's clear now that we're seeing the change. Do the kids embrace the changes that you see? Are they kind of sticking to the old ways themselves because that's what they saw their parents?
I'm with you on that. Well, actually, our students, they're the ones that are leading the change aspect when it comes to social media, technology, things of that nature. So actually, some of us, the old school, we're trying to catch up and make sure that we have the understanding of social media so that we're out front. So when they come to the classroom, we're actually assisting them in the process of growing and learning. And we want to expose them. So when you have individuals like yourself that comes to campus with the technology, that advanced technology that our students need, I think it's very important that they have that exposure.
Outstanding. Well, we're here at the campus of Texas Southern University, and we are speaking to Dr. Duncan, and we've just been joined by the beautiful and talented Miss Jaylene Mack, Attorney Jaylene Mack, also of Impact Houston. Good morning, Jaylene. How are you?
Good morning. Hello, everyone.
It is great to have you here. So talk to us about your role and your involvement in
Well, I am glad to be here. I'm a graduate of the law school here at Texas Southern. I came out in '93, so it's nice to always come home, right? And this is the second HBCU that I've attended in my life, so I'm really a proud alum and excited about being here today. Mass communications was my minor when I was at Xavier, and you know, I'm here to share with the students career paths and opportunities beyond just mass communications in general, media communications in general. You know, oftentimes we go to school and we're educated in one, following one path, but when we get out in the real world, we realize there's a lot of other opportunities that we can engage in. And so I'm hoping Impact, which is my nonprofit, Mac Performing Arts Collective, is able to be a facilitator and a vessel to help kids get internships, which was one of the great reasons why, you know, KYND being a media partner of Impact, it was great having you guys here. But I also want the students to know that we are a resource, that we are here if they need to connect with real people in real situations, you know, on real jobs outside of just textbooks. So I want them to know that we're here to help them reach success in the industry of their choosing. And usually, I'm an entertainment lawyer, very much involved in the entertainment industry. Impact is a nonprofit for visual and performing arts. So at some point, those paths are going to cross, entertainment and communications, right? And that's through TV, film, or radio. And we tell them, look, we can help you whether you're a television producer, you want to work on radio, you want to act in movies, stand up, whatever that might be, creative writing, all that tends to come together. And one of the things that we pride ourselves on in order to help college students, high school students, aspiring professionals in the either industry is by bringing the experts in town, the industry experts, you know, our celebrity guests who have made a name for themselves, the powers that be behind the scenes. Oftentimes people enter into the entertainment industry or even communications because they want to be seen and heard.
Yes.
But the money is behind the camera.
That's what I was going to ask you, because everybody wants to be a movie star, right? But there's a whole other world that's happening behind that.
Whole other world. And one of the other things that I think students should know, anybody should know in either industry, is don't sit and wait for the opportunity to come to you. Create it. You have to wear multiple hats in order to do that. So you can't just, you know, consider yourself, well, I'm going to be a reporter and I'm just waiting for that golden job to come to me, or I'm going to be an actor, or I'm going to be a radio personality. I'm just waiting on that golden job to come to me. No. You're going to have to be aggressive and go out and create some things for yourself. And one of the great things in 2017 is having social media to create those platforms at no cost. And, you know, and so one of the things that we do with Impact, we do offer, like, our film festival, for instance, in which we teach filmmakers about, whether it's filmmakers, actors, or writers, how to wear those multiple hats. So if you are an actor, don't just sit and act and wait for an acting gig. Write a script.
Yes.
Learn how to operate your iPhone and shoot a movie. So those are some of the things that we push. And, again, we're here to help them be successful in the business and be a resource.
Yes. So Dr. Duncan, are you seeing that? Well, I'll tell you what. If we could, let's go ahead and take a break. And then the question is, are you seeing that initiative in this young, emerging generation of media journalists, or is that something that we have to inspire in them? So, folks, you're listening to the Natural Nation Network here on KYND Radio. We are going to take a brief break. We'll be back here in just a moment.
Liking the conversation? Tell a friend to tune in to KYND, the kind of talk that inspires change.
Hello, this is Fred Hoyer coming to you for Bayway Lincoln, your Lincoln dealer for the last 20 years. Bayway Lincoln, located on the Gulf Freeway at the Fuqua exit. This month at Bayway Lincoln, 0% on all 2017 Lincolns in stock. That's right, 0% on all 2017 Lincolns in stock. From the Lincoln Navigator, the all-new Lincoln Continental, the Lincoln MKZ, Lincoln MKX, and the Lincoln MKC. So give Fred Hoyer a call today at 281-929-6500 and experience the Bayway way. Fred Hoyer and Bayway Lincoln, a winning combination for the last 20 years. So call 281-929-6500. And remember, Bayway Lincoln, the only dealer in town that gives you a 40-inch flat screen TV with your purchase on any new or pre-owned car. Good credit, bad credit, we can make it happen for you at Bayway Lincoln.
Bayway Lincoln on the Gulf Freeway, 45 South at the Fuqua exit. Open Saturdays. Call Fleet Manager Fred Hoyer, 281-929-6500. Bayway Lincoln, a part of the Bayway Auto Group.
Do you know someone who has a drinking problem or drug addiction? Well, you know what comes next. If you or someone close to you has a bad drinking or drug problem and they have private health insurance, free help may be available. Call a recovering addiction specialist now at the Detox and Treatment Helpline. They'll help you get clean and sober and give you a total rehab in a beautiful 5-star treatment facility. It's like a vacation, but a clean vacation. If you have private health insurance, quitting drugs, quitting alcohol, and getting sober is just a free call away. Sorry, we don't accept Medicare or Medicaid. Make this free, confidential call now, before someone dies.
800-210-7907, 800-210-7907, 800-210-7907. Call right now, 800-210-7907.
Are you ready for real talk? Those of us who have lived in Houston long enough have seen the changes. 3rd Ward is now the Museum District. 4th Ward is called Midtown, and Acres Homes and 5th Ward are changing fast. Ready to learn the insider secrets to owning a home, even if you have less than stellar credit, or avoiding eviction from the home you're in? Well, then you don't want to miss Real Talk Real Estate. I'm Dwayne Hines, licensed realtor, mortgage loan officer. Join me on my new show every Wednesday, starting at 11:30 a.m. to learn the secrets to getting into a home now in this rapidly changing market. Contact me directly at 713-256-8724. That's 713-256-8724. Real Talk Real Estate, Wednesdays, beginning at 11:30 a.m. right here on KYND, the kind of talk that inspires change.
From Summerwood to Sunnyside, on the air everywhere. Everywhere. The powerful 1520.
And we are back. You're listening to the Natural Nation Network here on KYND Radio. We are joined by Professor Duncan and attorney Dr. Jaylene Mack. I want to give you a doctorate degree.
Yeah, yes, Dr. Jurisprudence.
That's correct. Yes, indeed. So the question just before the break, we were talking about here at the campus of Texas Southern University how education has traditionally sort of trained people to go out and get a job in maybe a corporate setting and so on. But what would you say, Dr. Duncan and Jaylene, please jump in at any time, that we're doing to really inspire these kids to be entrepreneurs, to be out-of-the-box thinkers?
Well, I'll say it again. Educators take something that's simple and make it complicated, whereas communicators will take something complicated and make it simple. Our students do have passion, but many do need some encouragement, some inspiration in the classroom. So I live by the words, if I can help someone as I pass along, share someone with a word or song, tell someone that they're traveling wrong, then my living shall not be in vain. So I try to instill in our students that it's more to the classroom when it comes to textbook knowledge and things of that nature, but there's real world. And they need to go out and network. And opportunities like this, they need to shake some hands. So we need to inspire our students to be more proactive, not sit back and be reactive. And so that's what I'm hoping our students will get out of Communications Week when we talk about specifically for the School of Communication. But in general, try to pass on that knowledge and give back to our students, that they need to go out and get after it. And like my dear sister was saying, don't wait. My sorrow, yes. Don't wait, but go after it and be passionate about what you're doing. And many of them, it takes them a year or two in college to really figure out exactly what their purpose is. And so we hope that they are purpose-driven once they get that spirit and understand what they're trying to do. But, again, they need to get out in the real world and experience. So internship opportunities are very important, networking, meeting and greeting. And so I'm hoping that our students are taking advantage of this great opportunity during this week.
Yes, and want to commend you because opportunities, events just like this, is what drives that. Now, you know, Jaylene, you have been passionate with Impact about helping young people to sort of discover that fire and stoke it. What's been your experience with watching the embers turn into hopefully roaring flames?
Yeah. We start actually with high school students. So whatever we do, age appropriate, and which is usually our education workshops, the high school students can attend for free. So that's starting from 9th grade through 12th grade. And we chose to start with the high school students because they are the next ones to either further their education or they're going to go out into the workforce. So I think that whole concept of entrepreneurship, in addition to aspiring for a 9-to-5, should be instilled that early. And again, with social media, I mean, that obviously helps because some of these kids are already promoting parties, you know, figuring out ways to make some money, which is great. Even in college, I was like, what am I going to do while I'm in college to make some money? And because you have people selling bologna sandwiches to processing hair or whatever. So I do think you have to really start early on. What can you do? What's my natural talent that I can turn into some profit? And then how does that really relate to maybe what I'm studying in school and marry the two? But I know one thing. I was talking to a senior here. She's a senior in communications, and she said, I'm about to graduate, and I just don't know what I want to do still. Well, she's not the first to be in that position, even as a senior, but I was telling her about some of our impact events, and we have a workshop coming up on April 29th, which is the Joey Wells workshop, which is the Impact Funny Business, all things related to comedy. And I told her, come to the workshop or go to some networking events, maybe outside of your comfort zone. But you have to step out of that box. You have to get outside of the comfort zone, outside of just being who you are every day, and reach a little bit further, and maybe that'll stir something in you. You can study all the books you want, but if you can't really relate that material to the real world, the outside world, you're still going to be stagnant. And I tell people just in general in the entertainment industry, relationships are everything. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how many degrees you have. I don't care about who you think you know. If you don't have a relationship with them, it's like having a relationship with God. You ain't going too far if you got a relationship with Him. You can know Him, but do you have a relationship? So even in this business, you have to have relationships with people. Communications, entertainment, whichever your path, because that's what's going to take you to the next level. People want to work with who they can relate to. Who am I going to be around on an 8-hour day, a 14-hour day? Oh, I love this person. Great personality. They're self-motivated, whatever that might be. So I do think networking is key. And I also tell people when you go out, one of the things that people say about me, and I'm a grown woman, oh, I see you everywhere. Mm-hmm. How do you do it all? Well, first of all, you don't see me everywhere. But then secondly, when you do see me, you best believe I'm there with a purpose. Unless it's my son's track meet or something, more family type stuff. If you see me in a social setting, award show, whatever, TSU today,
yes,
I'm there with a purpose. And I think people have to keep that in mind every time you go somewhere where there's going to be a multitude of people from different walks of life. There might be an opportunity to do some business, connect, whatever that might be that takes you to the next level. And so I think you have to keep that in mind. So that's where the business card comes in hand, or what's my 5 minutes of talk, if I get an opportunity to meet so-and-so. When I graduated from Xavier, our president, Norman Francis, said, there's no such thing as luck. luck is really where opportunity meets preparedness, and these kids have to be prepared,
Yes.
for whatever opportunity comes their way.
Yes. And you're very intentional, and that makes a big difference. So as we're kind of bringing some closure here, I want to ask you, Dr. Duncan, there's been this proliferation, obviously, of social media, which has changed the game. Now you can get access to things free. There was a time when TV was a paid-for medium, and you can sell advertising. How are you telling these kids to monetize things these days when the sands have shifted so radically?
Well, we're telling them to take advantage of what's before you. Great opportunity all around you. I'm learning as well that you have to promote yourself in a positive way. So what you put out, that perception, you have to be careful, that aspect, because many times I find our students are just thinking in the moment. They don't have that future sense as well. So we try to prepare them not only in the moment, but also get them to understand that what they're doing now may dictate their future, and so the choices that they make. And so utilize what's before you when you're talking about social media, that aspect. Be positive, promote yourself in a positive way, and you just never know what doors will open up, and who's reading your material, or who's following you, and all that good stuff. So that's what we try to get them to understand, that promote yourself positively, and we'll see what doors will open up from that perspective.
Outstanding. We've been talking to Dr. Duncan here, a professor at Texas Southern University, and attorney Jaylene Mack. Dr. Duncan, any way that folks connect to you, listeners, that is there a connecting point? I didn't ask you that ahead of time.
No, all is well, but we're going to go through my email. Let's do that. That's here at Texas Southern. That's Duncan, C-E, DUNCANCE @tsu.edu. And again, I'm over the internship opportunities here in the School of Communication. So again, Duncan, CE @tsu.edu.
Outstanding. And Attorney Jaylene Mack, how do folks connect with you and the impact?
Absolutely. I have my own website, which is JayleneMack.com, JALENEMACK.com. And you can follow me on social media under Jaylene Mack. I'm not running from the cops, so I don't have no, sexy chocolate number 34. It's Jaylene Mack. And then Impact has a website, which is mpac-arts.org. So that's impact-art.org. And also social media under Houston Impact, Houston MPAC. And they can find out all about the workshops and just all the different things that we've done. Check us out on YouTube and all that good stuff. And catch me on KYND on Tuesdays.
Yes.
And Thursdays with Dr. Young from 4 to 6 drive time.
Yes, we love having you in the studio. Well, you've been listening to thank you so much, both of you. You've been listening to the Natural Nation Network here on KYND Radio. We want to encourage you to be safe out there. I know things may be drying up later this afternoon. Next up, Mr. Ralph Cooper is going to be in the house with Sports Wrap. You don't want to change that dial. Ralph, with his encyclopedic mind on sports, is going to absolutely dazzle you with another outstanding program. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next week at 11 a.m. right here on KYND Radio, the kind of talk that inspires change.
The views and opinions expressed on KYND 1520 talk programs are those of the host, guest, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its owners, management, other hosts, or advertisers. Show topics on this station may include conversations on any lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practices. KYND, a Synergy Broadcasting Company.